And welcome back to Gorilla Man's Garage. Yes, today we're inside. It's really raining and it's melting all the snow. That's a good thing. But there has been a lot of talk from Fimi about their new releases. Okay, so we've got the Fimi X8 Pro and the TX10A. So they're both new and they're basically proprietary and nothing fits each other and they're all different. So what's the big hype? They're all on pre-sale now, and hopefully some people may be getting them shipped out around April the 20th. But let's go through this quickly, okay? Some of the major differences. I've got my little piece of paper here so I don't forget anything. But let's take a look. So let's start the recording here of the screen. Here we go. Here's the screen recording. So we've got the Fimi X8 Pro, okay, to fly above and beyond. To me, it looks exactly the same as the X8 SE 2022, but it's not. The new thing is this camera, the 1/1.3 inch camera. Now that's the same 1/1.3 size that the DJI Mini 3, the Hubsan Zeno Mini and the Hubsan Mini have, and this difference here is that it's got a 1.7 f-stop. Now the half-inch sensor on the 2020 version of the half-inch sensor had a 1.6 f-stop, so that's in a little less light. Now then, the DJI Mini 3 also has a 1.7 f-stop, okay? And yet the Nano Plus, which has a 1/1.28 camera, has a 1.95. 1.95? Yeah, 1.95 f-stop. So take it with a grain of salt. Is it going to be up there with the DJI? Maybe. Maybe not, but that's a little bit different. Like I say, the 1.7 aperture is a little bit smaller than the one on the 2020 version, 2022 version. And it says you get better low light. Well, I don't fly at night, so I don't really know. HDR has always been good. I really like the Fimi HDR. Super night scene shot. I tried that out, and you really need a lot of light. Like, you need a lot of ambient light coming from the city to get a really good shot. But it's pretty good that way. The gimbal's always been good. They figured out that horizon issue that they've had for years and years and years, so it's always pretty good. Yes. The Rocklink, excuse me. Now the Rocklink now is version 4. Version 3 was on the 2022 version, which was 10 kilometers. Now this is version 4, which is 15 kilometers. So is it going to be compatible? They say that the TX10, that's Rocklink 3, is going to be compatible with this, with a firmware update. So let's see what happens with that. If that takes another year to get, I don't know. Comes with a great controller again. It's gonna, obviously this controller you get is not going to be compatible with the other controllers because it's with the Rocklink 3, not the Rocklink 4, and this will be Rocklink 4. Yeah. Now this is the optional TX10A. I'm going to put a picture up here. Here we go. And here on the TX10A, you see all these down here. It no longer has a SIM card. So that 4G module that was in there that had the antenna and the module was stamped 4G, it's not in there anymore. Okay, so you can't put your SIM card, you can't use it as a phablet or a phone. It's gone. And they've replaced it with an Ethernet port. So you've got an HDMI port, you've got an Ethernet port, and a WART port. Again, they're loading it up with all this stuff that, oh, you can possibly do all this stuff, but nothing's produced yet. We're still waiting for the RX10 receiver module. When's that coming? We don't know. But on the TX10, the SIM card does work, if you're into that. The only real reason for the SIM card is if you want on-the-fly satellite imagery. I kind of load in the map before I go anywhere, and even if I don't, I get roughly a good idea on the mapping. I don't get satellite mapping, but I get some streets and rivers and lakes and stuff, so I'm not too worried about that. So, back to here. Tri-directional sensing. Yes, it's got obstacle avoidance. How good that's going to be, we don't know. We do know that the precision landing that's on the X8SE 2022 is pretty good and has been pretty good throughout its flagship career. But yeah, we'll have to see. That's the other big uptick. Now then, let's compare the 2020, 2022, and the X8 Pro on flight times. It says here that you get a 40-minute flight time on the standard battery, and they are supposed to be going to be producing a plus battery that will give you 47 minutes. It's not in production. They said they were going to make the added battery for the TX10 a year and a half ago. That never came either. They said they were going to build a VTOL last October. That never came either. Well, Hubsan said they were going to make a 10-inch phablet for their drones. That never came either. So who knows what's going to happen. But I digress. So this is supposed to be a 40-minute flight time. That's interesting. This battery is a 15.4 volt battery, and the 2020 is an 11.4 volt. So they're not compatible, but they weigh the same. So the whole ready-to-fly unit, the X8 Pro, ready to fly, is 800 grams. The 2022 version is, version 2, is 779 grams. But this battery is 38 milliamps. It's 38? Yeah. And yet the 22 version was 4,500. So you've got 3,800 and 4,500. So it's got smaller milliamp battery, but yet you get 5 minutes longer. But everything weighs the same. So it's the same weight overall, less capacity, more volts. Somebody please explain to me how they get 5 more minutes out of it. But it all depends on where you're flying. Same as the 15-kilometer range in the Rocklink 4. Not a chance that you're going to get that. But around here I might get 1.5 kilometers. So let's get on with this. So there's going to be 2 batteries coming out with this, a 40-minute and a 47-minute. The one that comes with it is the 40-minute, and let's see what happens with that. It's just got a higher voltage on it, so maybe that's it. Maybe the C value is, and they're LiPo, they're not Li-ion, they're LiPo batteries, so be careful, they could swell on you if you're not careful. So yeah, intelligent batteries, blah, 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 blah. The accessory port on the bottom is for your drop and your megaphone. That's the same as the version 2, the megaphone. 100 meters on a megaphone, I don't think so. Anybody that I've seen in a video or whatever of this megaphone, you've got to be within 20 feet, maybe 50 feet, and you might hear something. But megaphone, I don't get it. The drop, yes, I get the drop. Like, I could have used the drop a little while ago when I was trying to recover my Hubsan Mini that was stuck up in a tree over the lake. Hands down, I could have used it. But I found a workaround for that, as you saw in the video, so that worked pretty good. So that's gimmicky. Release drop, nah, I'm not really into that too much. Now then, 4G cellular image transmission. This is interesting. They're going to have a cellular, just like the Parrot and Anafi AI, a cellular transmission module that you attach on the back of, here it is on the back, okay, with a SIM card. You put a SIM card in it, and you can control through your phone. But the TX10A controller doesn't have a SIM card in it. So if you have this module, you can't use the TX10A. You'd have to use the regular controller and your phone. And your phone would have to have a SIM card in it. And the drone would have to have a SIM card in it. So why they, what is this thing here? Why they took out the SIM port in here, I don't know. That's kind of weird. Remote ID, yeah, it's got remote ID and it transfers information. What information is transferring, I don't know really. It says here you're going to have your name and your address. Well, you can turn it on and off in the app anyway, and it looks like it could be a couple of years before it's been mandated. And really, are they going to ground your drone if you don't have remote ID activated? I don't know. That's all up in the air. So I'm not too worried about it right now, but I guess they're getting ready for it. Rainproofing and snow, yes, it's always been good, and there are some really good videos out there about the X8 SE 2022 in some really good snowstorms. Really good. It does a great job. I'm not promoting that you take it out in the rain or the snow, but it does a good job in weather. Level 8 wind resistance, yes. The the X8 series, the X8 SE, and this X8 Pro, I'm assuming with level 8 is going to be a tank. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be great in wind, just like all the others, not a problem. Okay, even the X8 Mini does way better than the DJI Minis in the wind. So Fimi does a good job. Flight planning does a great job. I mean, all the different flight options that you're looking at and the flight planning waypoints, they're all really good. Now remember, I have to cough here. Now remember, with the waypoints in Fimi, you have a 1 kilometer radius maximum. So wherever your waypoints are, you can only do it within a 1 kilometer range. Don't know why it used to be you could go anywhere. Now it's only 1 kilometer. And when you do your waypoints, a red circle comes up and you can't go outside of that. But that's it. On the other hand, you take Hubson and you can go as far as you want. Depends on your battery. Just like the old Bebop used to be able to do. You could do a waypoint mission as far as you want until you ran out of battery. But anyway, I digress. Again, smart tracking, yeah, it's pretty good. I wouldn't really hold my breath on that, but I guess it does work to some degree. It does good orbits. They do good orbits. Panorama shots, they do those. There's not a problem. That's something I'm into. Time lapse, you can do that. Get some great shots, I'm assuming. Great. SAR mode, search and rescue. That's your zoom function. And it puts the GPS coordinates on your screen if you're doing a screen recording. It's great, okay? So, and it does work. With the SAR, remember, if you put SAR on and you zoom in, and then you get out of SAR, you still zoomed in. You have to go back to SAR, zoom back out, and then get out of SAR to go back to normal, okay? There we go. So, precision landing, they've always been good. The app, now the app, see this, Navi 3? Well, on the TX10, it's Navi 2. So it's a brand new app. So it's a brand new app. I'm assuming, do you just have to download the app to the TX10? I haven't got that answer yet either, but they say they are going to update the TX10 to be compatible with Navi 3 app. So we'll see. We'll wait and see and find out. I don't know what the real differences are, but this is definitely the Navi 3 app. Okay. Yeah, return to homes and all this kind of stuff. Low battery, blah, 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 blah. Propellers. Somebody's mentioned that these propellers are different. I'm looking at them and I can't see any connection. It looks like it's still the 3-post. That's 1, 2, 3. It still looks like a 3-post design. What I might look at is the pitch. The pitch could be bigger on these than the other. Obviously, they've painted the ends, but I'm still waiting on that. Are they different? Some people have said they are different. So that's another thing. So we're no longer able to interchange batteries anyway, which is a real downer. And the other question I haven't got yet is, can I take this gimbal and put it on my 2022 if I wanted to? So if they're going to charge me 150 bucks, 200 bucks for a new camera, could I shove that on my 2022 rather than buying the whole thing? Right? So, don't know. Okay. I'm not that interested in obstacle avoidance. I'm really interested in the camera, and I'm really interested in the flight time. Everything else, not really interested in the megaphone. So maybe they'll come out with an X8 Pro SE. Maybe. Get rid of the obstacle avoidance. Don't need it. Get rid of the megaphone drop thingy. Yeah, there we go. And then into the specs. Okay. But yeah, let's go back to the top here. Boom. There we go. So as a recap, what do we got? We got a brand new X8 Pro. Okay, right there. It's $599. Then it's going to go up to $699. And the TX10A is $309. TX10 used to be $299. So $699 and $309 is $679.99. That's $1,000 US. That's getting up there. That's getting expensive. That's almost as much as the DJI Mini 3 Pro. Okay, within $100 or so. Okay, so that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I think Fimi's overpricing themselves by $100 on these ones. But anyway, we should wait and see. Am I going to buy one? Unless I get a really super deal on one, no. The camera, they've got the 1/1.3 camera, but then they've made the f-stop smaller. So that's a problem. The Rocklink, they took the SIM card out of the TX10 on the TX10A. Are the differences going to be astronomical? No, they're going to be minimalistic. But someone coming into the market and wants a big tank of a drone that can run in any weather and do tons and tons of stuff, then maybe. It's on that borderline for pricing though. Oh, and again, for the first time ever, well, maybe in 10 years, Fimi has not introduced a social media review program. So nobody was given these drones. And really, we don't even know if the drone exists. All we've seen is these marketing pictures, and today was released an 8-second video of a 3D rendered image, CGI if you will, of what this might look like. And there's no actual images of the actual drone. There's no actual footage from any camera this thing has. There's no actual images of the TX10A, although they say we have lots in stock. Well, if you take a picture from the front, they look exactly the same. So, do they even have these? We don't know. We've asked tons and tons and tons of questions. We're getting the runaround on answers. Believe me, I asked them, is the battery compatible? Is the 2020 version battery on the, is the battery on the X8 SE 2022 compatible with the X8 Pro? It took 4 or 5 emails back and forth before the answer is no, they're not compatible. Okay? There you go. It took as many or more when I asked, will the TX10 controller be able to control the X8 Pro? We don't know yet. It hasn't been decided. It might. It could. Probably. The probability is there. We're looking into it. We're testing at our facilities. Yes, it will be in short order compatible with a firmware update. Maybe. Okay? So all kinds of different answers going on from different, and I have sources. I have 5 different sources that I ask emails on. Some in marketing, some in customer service, some in sales, CEO, all this kind of stuff. And I'm getting all kinds of not misleading answers, but definitely not concise answers or getting to the point answers, which is par for the course, if you will. Fimi X8 Pro. If it is what it is, it's going to be good. I just don't need all the bells and whistles. Okay, for one, the Fimi X8 SE 2022, without the megaphone and the drop line, is by far, and I think the price is still $449 on it or something. Hands down, the best drone you can buy for your money for durability, value, picture, options, reliability. It's phenomenal. And the TX10 controller is, yes, it's overkill. There's lots of things on there that have not been developed, but as just a rudimentary controller is phenomenal. They could have done away with 6 of the switches that are on there. They could have lightened it by probably 50 or 100 grams. They really didn't need the SIM card port. They could have put in a better Android version. They could have done a few little things to make it better and cheaper, but with all the other ones out there on the market, it's a really good controller. And it does exactly what it's supposed to do. But it falls short when you get all these promises that it's going to do all this, and it doesn't. And things haven't been developed yet. But as a controller, and I always compare the TX10 to the DJI RC, night and day. Night and day. Okay? Do not like the DJI RC. TX10, amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love it. I love it. And yeah, it's right here. Right here. TX10. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. That's my wrap. That's my gripe. Fimi, if you're listening, please, please, please. I don't care if you send it to me. You're not going to send it to me. And you're not going to give me a deal on it because I've already asked. You're not going to give me a deal. But send it out to somebody. Okay? Get it in the hands of somebody that can look at it properly. Or you guys make your own videos. Do something. Have real pictures or real images of it. Where is it? What's it going to be like? Okay? There's, I'm sure, a lot of people that have spent a lot of money, and before you know it, if things fall through before April 20th, when you promise to ship, and these things are going to be ready, if they're not, I give it another week or so, and people are going to start canceling the orders. And my suggestion to people, if something doesn't happen or we don't see something good in the next week, I would suggest cancel your order and wait and see if something comes of this. Okay? And big thing is, if nobody buys it, anyway, rant. There we go. So, Fimi, if you're listening, pull up your socks, change your marketing strategy. Let's do a better job. and try and answer those emails a little more concisely, okay? Great, okay. Till then, go out and fly my 2022. And that 1/2 inch sensor is amazing. Simply amazing. Anyway, I've rambled enough. See you later. Take care. And when the weather clears up, get out and do some flying. Bye now.